The internet and Pierre Poilievre absolutely demolish Justin Trudeau, and now Pierre is going on the attack. Let's get into it.
Oh, yeah!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. Things are heating up. Boy, are they going to get crazy. I told you 2024 was going to be a crazy year and to buckle up. Well, here we go. This is the start of the race, ladies and gentlemen. Pierre Poilievre and the internet coming out full force today to destroy Justin Trudeau and the Liberals, and Pierre Poilievre going as far as to start threatening arrests. That's right. We don't just see Pierre Poilievre coming out threatening reporters, or not threatening, but owning reporters in terms of their facts, in terms of what they're calling out against the conservative government and their MAGA-style politics. But we're also starting to see a pushback when it comes to him questioning the antics and scandals of Justin Trudeau. When we talk about things like Arrive Scam, and the $250 million in contracts that have been given out to companies like GC Strategies over the last 8 years, it looks like Justin Trudeau's days are numbered. And while a lot of people tend to say, hey, nothing's going to happen, Pierre is now threatening arrests. I think this is the start of the end, and boy, things are going to get crazy, and we're going to get into all of that right away. But first, I want to have a shout out to this video's sponsor, Funnable Friends. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Funnable Friends. After a long day of looking at the world and what goes on around it, especially with this guy.
You'll forgive me if I don't think about monetary policy. You'll understand that I think about families.
I definitely need a calming distraction. And that's why I'm here today to talk to you about a new YouTube channel called Funnable Friends. This channel happens to be just what the doctor ordered to help take your stress away. We're talking clumsy puppies, hilarious cat fails, and hours of clean, family-appropriate entertainment. What is more is they are a grassroots channel volunteering and promoting local Alberta charities, including the fostering of a cute puppy through Fostering Hope in Red Deer, Alberta. There's no cost to view the content, with a portion of earnings from the channel going to assist in the well-being of future animals in need. So if you feel the need to forget about the latest political drama in your life for a while, subscribe to Funnable Friends. The stories of those lives of animals getting turned around is sure to brighten your day, and out of our lives and the chaos that continues in it, we could sure all afford a few minutes out of our lives to be a little more funnable. Link is down below in the description. Now, I know that is an unusual sponsor for this channel, but let me tell you something, folks. Stress is something we can't deal with. I happen to really love the work that goes on in that channel. And when I was approached to do a sponsored video for this channel to try and get some traffic over there, to get some people subscribed into that channel and the work that they do, I'll tell you right now, not only am I a fan of the channel, but I think that it's beneficial sometimes to turn around and have a few laughs in your life. And I definitely can't recommend that channel enough. It would really help me out if you go over there and drop them a subscription. Check out their content, watch their videos, have a laugh, share it out. Good, wholesome family fun, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't get any better than that. But let's get in to the meat and potatoes of what happened today, because my God, things are heating up. Justin Trudeau going on what Pierre Poilievre calls a filibuster, as a lot of concerns start coming up about spending and about budgets and about the affordability of things. We saw yesterday Chrystia Freeland's monthly expenses of $6,000 for grooming, gym memberships, and personal trainers. This is clearly a money scam. Now, what's happening here, and what I believe has happened, now this is speculation, so nobody say that I'm going verbatim on this, but speculation I've seen in times where, and I'll give an example, that when you run a corporation, sometimes, for example, like if I'm entertaining a crowd of potential customers or investors or clients, however you want to run it, and we go out to a dinner. Now, the company might pick up the tab for that dinner, but then all of a sudden people say, hey, there's a casino across the street. Let's go over there, have a few drinks, kick back. What typically will happen in a business is not that it's, encouraged, but what people will typically do as business owners is say, head over to that casino and take a couple $100 out of a bank machine and say, well, that's expenses for entertainment. And they'll spend about $30 out of the $300 they'll take out of a machine, or however much they spend. And I'm using this solely as an example, but this is a way for them to go home, pocket that money, and essentially put a large tab on the business for going out and entertaining guests. Now, I'm not saying that happens every single time, but what seems to have happened is I think that when you look at people like Chrystia Freeland, who clearly don't go to a gym, who clearly do not have personal trainers, because she would look significantly different from how she looks now if she had any form of a legitimate personal trainer. My belief is that, of course, we all know the truth. When you're talking about $6,000 a month, clearly the money is being funneled somewhere else, and this is just a cover-up. So it's going to be interesting to see as the Conservatives continue to push for where Canadians' funds are going, what comes of those things. But now Justin Trudeau coming out, being grilled about, his expenditures and what we're doing with the military and Canadian budgets. Now, of course, the first reaction for Justin Trudeau is always to blame Stephen Harper. Even 8 years later, it's always Stephen Harper's fault. But of course, we see here, Amazing Zoltan, I still got to get him on the channel at some point soon. The official Liberal Party of Canada Twitter account, with its 420,000 followers, is the king of community notes and being ratioed. It's embarrassing. Now, if we look at the Liberal Party's post, let's take a peek at it before we get into the audio clip from Justin Trudeau. 211,000 views to 1.4K likes. Talk about a ratio. Talk about an absolutely demolishing ratio. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this, folks. It says, Pierre Poilievre thinks he can cut his way to prosperity, but Canadians know that doesn't add up. Liberals will build a stronger middle class. Conservatives will gut it. Let's listen to what President Fancy Socks has to say.
Right-wing politicians continue to talk about the fact that we need cuts, that somehow cuts are going to help people get into homes or afford childcare. Cuts to programs are going to be able to help the more vulnerable or seniors. Their approach on austerity, their approach of justifying their cuts and going back to a trickle down where the wealthiest get great advantages and tax breaks and hopefully it'll make it down to everyone else, simply doesn't work. It never has. And right now, today, you have proof what happens when progressive governments step up, roll up our sleeves, and provide solutions for people. Yes, we need to, and we have continued to see inflation come down, and we need to continue to watch it come down, and that means being fiscally responsible. But doing so in a way that puts support for people and support for the economy that we're building for the future at the center of everything we do, that's the thing that right-wing conservatives simply don't get.
So this is crazy. So let's take a minute to say this. So he's saying by stopping the spending, by cutting the spending that's going out, people aren't going to see the benefit when it comes to their tax dollars. So let's do some basic math here on the fact. And this is basic, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not getting into the hard end of things in terms of how money is doled out or how things work. But if you have a pile of money, and you say to the public, look, if we spend all of this money, we have to tax you more in order to, put it back, in order to grow the pile back to where it was. And you continue to spend and spend and spend that money. And even when that money's gone, you continue spending more. Well, you have to continue taxing your people to pay for more things in order to build that pile of money back up. If you were to cut things and say, well, instead of spending on this, we're going to save this money, or we're going to put it somewhere that's more necessary, that improves things for people. That means people don't have to pay as much tax. When you don't have a spending problem, those are the results. So what Justin Trudeau is talking about, especially with this pause face of him in his Durr face, it basically He's just talking on his rear. I mean, you'll notice over here, the Bank of Canada is trending as we're watching this video. You can't make this up. Of course, we see this great meme I wanted to share with you. It says, I believe this may be Justin trying to figure out how to blame Stephen Harper for a Rive scam. And of course, you see the swimmer pouring water on his face. It's just... it's terrible. But look at the comments. Let's look at the comments. Good friend of the channel, Severo the First. Why is our tax double what the tax is in Florida? You steal half of our money and blow it on useless BS. You belong in prison. And here's a chart just showing where everything's going right now. Taxing Canadians into prosperity since 2015. Just resigned. 338 Canada federal projection. The Conservative Party had a 41% lead. I mean, come on, Justin. Trudeau will build two classes, the extremely poor and the extremely rich, both on the backs of the current middle class. Got whoever is running your comms, isn't that Max's job, needs to be fired. On the same day, you cut rebates to small businesses. Taxing your way isn't working. You've been PM for 8 years. The responsibility of Canada's problems lies directly on your shoulders. Couldn't agree more. No one listens to him. You know that, right? You're actively and intentionally destroying the middle class while transferring their limited wealth to your wealthy donors, and from there on into your pockets. It's crazy. Speaking of Stephen Harper and the blame that comes in, now the audio is only on one side of the channel. I guess it's an older video, but I think Stephen Harper tried to say what might come from a Justin Trudeau government. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Trudeau's deficits will not be small. Mr. Trudeau has made tens of billions of dollars of spending promises. He said the budget will balance itself. He has no idea what he is talking about when it comes to these things. That's why you could be sure that his small deficits will become large deficits. Trudeau's deficits
will become large deficits. I don't know if there's such thing as a psychic, but does Stephen Harper have psychic abilities? Was he able to see the future? I don't know how a man like this could somehow see 8 years into the future and know exactly where we'd be. Oh, I know why. Because we hired a drama teacher to run our country, and he knew damn well what was coming up. Well, the buck isn't stopping there, ladies and gentlemen. Pierre Poilievre coming out this morning, holding a press conference, and not only completely destroying Justin Trudeau, but he's finally doing what I've been asking for a long time, and it's to stop beating around the bush and start threatening arrests. And sure enough, Pierre Poilievre comes to the table in spades. Let's take a listen to what Pierre had to say.
The good news, and then on top of all of it, we have the Arrive scam. The Arrive scam where Justin Trudeau paid at least $60 million for an app that didn't work, that we didn't need, and that could have been done for $80,000. One company, GC Strategies, has had approximately $250,000 of contracts, according to a La Presse study. $250,000 of contracts for a 5-person company that operates out of the basement of a cottage for IT services, even though the company admits they don't do IT work. Well, common sense conservatives are calling GC Strategies and its employees to testify under oath at a parliamentary committee. They're refusing. And so we've put forward a motion to have them arrested and physically dragged into the room to explain where our $250 million went. Where's the funds? Yesterday, Liberal MPs started a filibuster. That's a talkathon, talking into the mic, running out the clock to prevent GC Strategies officials from being brought into committee. What have you got to hide, Justin? Why won't you bring in these consultants to explain why you gave them $250 million tax dollars? If you've got nothing to hide, get your MPs out of the way and let us bring them in here, because we have single moms who are putting water in their kids' milk because they cannot afford the cost of groceries, who are now paying taxes so that you can stuff $250 million into the pockets of this shady company. Stop.
Unreal. Arresting GC Strategies and dragging them before Parliament to answer where the money is. I'm so pleased to hear this. Is there anything this guy isn't going to do? I mean, listen, I don't want to sound like I'm sucking up, but honestly, guys, this is something I've been saying for a long time. And this is where I think, again, we're on the heels of a spring election. I think it's on its way. It's definitely coming. This guy's in full campaign mode. I mean, let's take a look at what happened earlier today when he was asked about the state of woke politics. What did Pierre have to say on this matter?
The last few years, our news organization has been covering what can only be described as a war on women. Biological males are pretending to be females, and these men are invading female safe spaces. This includes female sports ranging from volleyball to rugby. As well, men pretending to be women are gaining access to female shelters and even female prisons. This has collectively led to real women and girls being emotionally abused, physically injured, and my question, sir, is should you form the next federal government, will you make female safe spaces safe again by introducing legislation that bans so-called transgender women from participating in female sports and getting access into female shelters and female prisons?
Female spaces should be exclusively for females, not for biological males. You asked if I introduced legislation on that. A lot of the spaces you described are provincially and municipally controlled. So it is unclear what federal legislation would reach federal legislation would have to change them. But obviously, female sports, female change rooms, female bathrooms should be for females, not for biological males.
How more based can you get than that? Like, this is the Pierre I've been saying for months. Where is he? Where is he when he's beating around the bush? Where is he when he's doing the typical tactics of, well, I'll say something without saying it. This is the Pierre right here, ladies and gentlemen, that I've been asking for the last couple of years, ever since the precursor to the convoy, saying that's the guy that should be running to manage the country. That's the guy I want for my PM, not this weak drama teacher who wants to talk about Indigenous reconciliation and climate change and things that, while some of those things matter in a sense, have no justification to discuss when the country is burning, when people are losing their livelihoods, when affordability is out the window. We need somebody who's got the testicular fortitude to manage the problem, fix the issues, and get Canadians back on track and into a state where they can actually afford to maybe get out of the house once in a while and put food in the fridge for their families. Now, I don't know where things are going to go with this GC Strategies. We're going to keep our eyes on this. We're going to report anything that I hear about on this channel. I'll keep everybody up to date on that one. I'm willing to bet that when question period hits, we're going to see more attacks into the GC Strategies. And again, with Pierre threatening things like arrests and moving for a motion for arrests, I don't see this one going away anytime soon. This isn't the We Charity scandal. This isn't even the AgaCon. This is getting serious. I think this is going to become bigger than the sponsorship scandal, and I certainly hope so, because this very well is and could be the undoing of Justin Trudeau. But let me know your guys' comments down below, your thoughts. I want to hear what you have to say. Are you happy to see Pierre finally speaking up, a little more vocal than he has been in the past? I know I for sure am. What do you make of the threats of arrests? What do you think is going to come from this? Let me know your comments down below. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Don't forget to join us this Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Central for Friday Night Fringe. We're definitely going to be talking about things like this on that stream. We talk about everything that's happened in the week, everything that may be coming up in the next week, and a little bit of back and forth with the community. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in those videos, or in those live streams. Jeez, look, I'm getting tongue-tied already. I look forward to seeing you guys in those videos, and I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say. And it's always great to sit and talk about our community, especially now that we've hit 20,000 subscribers. So thank you to everybody who's joined the channel, who's joining us on this journey and building up our large fringe majority here on the channel. I look forward again to seeing you guys Friday night, and hope you enjoyed this video and had a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.